Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is the Black Manga Critic. Once again, we are back for that Shokugeki no Soma greatness. I'm always gonna call it Shokugeki no Soma. Something that I'll switch every now and then to like Food Wars because I know Food Wars is sort of like the popular term title to use like in America in some ways because of like how it's published and everything like that. But I like Shokugeki no Soma because it's a pun that's there in Japanese, right? The fact that Shokugeki is a big sort of deal within. Sorry, something just happened in the kitchen. My fiance, she's fine. Don't worry about it. There's always something going on the side, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that Shokugeki no Soma greatness. We are on chapter 254. This is going to be a live reaction / review of that Shokugeki greatness, all right, of that Soma greatness, all right. So let's get into it. Let's see what this chapter is all about because I really love the last chapter. The last chapter I thought was like a 9 out of 10. It was really good. I appreciated it so much. It was phenomenal. I loved like the whole the way that the last sort of bout was structured. I thought that was fantastic, and it made a lot of sense. Right, if we're thinking about it from Senzomon's point of view. So let's get into it, all right? Man, I wanted to do the main dish, but now I'm stuck with the appetizer. That does it. I'm going to make one so awesome it'll blow your main course out of the water. And get ready. You can't be serious. That's not how this works. Whoa. Hold on a second. Are those two going to be okay? They only just now resorted to rock, paper, scissors to decide who's doing what dish. There seems to be some kind of excitement happening on the resistance side, but for better or for worse, this is it. The final bout begins now. I really like this, this panel and the way that it shows the similar sort of personalities of Rindo and Soma and Tsukasa and Erina, right? And like the way that they're dressed, the color, the aesthetic, like that, is so great. And I think if you're really sort of thinking about it, like if you're noticing certain things, then you kind of already notice the similarities, right? But and the sort of relationship and everything like that. But when the panel is placed like that, it's just like bam, it's like in your face, like you can't ignore it. You know what I mean? Right, obviously, right, Rindo, the same hair color, the same eye color, right, stuff like that. Come on, the same fiery sort of nature, the same desire to try new things and to make moves and everything like that, and to be their own person in a lot of ways. But also right, they want to be their own chef, they want to be their own person, obviously, but they also are willing to say I'm going to study all these other things and bring them into my repertoire and everything like that. Rindo's very similar to Soma. And of course Rindo has particular skills, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rindo was similar to Soma in a way, and maybe she didn't have a lot of talent, but she just worked extremely hard to get to that place as second seat. Just really great stuff. Right, and Tsukasa and Erina have very similar sort of had similar personalities, right? And they're sort of unflinching love for a hot cuisine and everything like that, and wanting things to be perfect, right? Tsukasa is perfect in the way that he cooks, and Erina is sort of perfect in her palate, in the way that she wants things to taste to sort of come into harmony perfectly. So really cool panel. I really appreciate that. I do. Let's see. So it's about to start. For this final bout, both teams will present a 2-course meal. Each chef will create their course and present the completed dish in tandem with their teammate. The winner of this bout will claim victory in the Regiment de Cuisine, their prize. Their prize? All seats on the Council of 10. Should the resistance win, they will also have the power to rescind the expulsion of their friends. Good luck, guys. Doesn't matter. We have the 2 best chefs in the institute. Even with Miss Erina, Erina on the other side, there's no way the first and second seats will lose. All right, let's do this. I've been trying hard not to think about it, but if we win this, our duties on the council are just going to get even worse. All the work Kashiki and Megashima used to do will wind up on my desk. I just know it. Hey, whoa, come on, Tsukasa. Let's see some fire. I know. I'll try my best. Because winning also means the last of the threats to Central will be gone. I feel bad for Yukihira and the others who will have to be expelled, but it has to be done for the sake of perfecting my craft. Ladies and gentlemen, would you look at that? Amazing. Speed so fast that I can barely follow, yet absolute precision. Both chefs are working in perfect sync. Handle the rest, please, Rindo. You got it. That's right. Chefs are still allowed to help their teammates during the bout. Wow, like those two are so on the same wavelength, it's scary. Yeah, but as for our two, don't even say it. Excellent. I expect no less from my hand-picked chefs. They have an eye for nothing but victory. Especially Eishi Tsukasa. Ha, so he is the precious prodigy you've been looking after. Yes, Tsukasa is exactly like I was at his age. Ever since the moment we met, I knew. Wow, okay. Hmm. Okay, so it's like a flashback. Here goes the flashback panel. Um, Tsukasa, look, we finally made it. We're Tutsuki's #1 and #2. Man, we worked really hard to get this far, didn't we? Yeah. But my cooking still isn't the best it can be. I have to keep working harder and aiming higher. Hehe, yep, me too. Now then, Mr. Tsukasa, allow me to explain your new duties as first seat. First will be a speech at the gourmet banquet sponsored by the XYC Corporation. According to tradition, the first seat of the Institute will always perform a cooking demonstration afterwards. This will be, of course, only the first of many meetings and business dinners you are to attend. All are very important duties absolutely required of the first seat. Oh, yeah. Joshido could never have done that. Like he would have left like if like well no. I mean he wouldn't even like he just his personality is not it's just not suited for being the first seat at all. At all. You know? So I mean like he must have been like yo again like just take the first seat. Again, just take the first seat. You know? I'm not very good at dealing with people. These sorts of things aren't my favorite. Geez, Tsukasa, get it together. You've always had this problem with having oh, what's it called? Oh, right, 0 people skills. If you're putting it colloquially, yes. Seriously, he can't take a hint to save his life. And he'll get weirdly timid and wussy about the strangest stuff too. Ah, well, I guess that all falls under the banner of having no people skills to speak of. I'll do it. As the first seat, it's my duty. Oh? If it means improving my cooking, I'm willing to do anything. Yeah, tonight's banquet is crammed with all sorts of high rollers again. Oh gosh, and I have to stand in front of them? I can already tell that I'm going to say something weird and have them all frowning at me again. Yeah, that's true. When I remember when like Izami was like first year, like he was also really timid, like around like Dojima and Jochido and like everyone else. Like he was a really timid dude. Like you couldn't really tell like just from looking at him like early that like he would be like child abuse, like you know, father / horrible human being. Oh well, you do it all the time anyway. So why let it bother you now? Go get him. Mrs. Tsukasa, why are you still here? What of today's business lunch? They're all at your they're all awaiting your arrival at the venue. Huh? But I thought I canceled that one because it's a scheduling conflict. I even made sure to have a forced smile when they presented the invitation. Wasn't that enough to give them a hint? Of course not. You must leave immediately. Really? But I have so much paperwork left. Sheesh, here. Give me some of that stack. Ah, Momo. If it's just filling out forms, I can do that much. I'll make it so all you have to do is sign them later. Akane ga Kubo? What's this you got here? Proposed budget and resolution for next year's moon banquet? Let me handle that. I've always been good at stuff like setting budgets and balancing accounts. Megashima. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can help you with? That totally defeat the point. Get your butt in gear and go. This is without a doubt a perfect dish. Well done, Aishi Tsukasa. My, this Totsuki Institute certainly is impressive. Oh, indeed, this is the work of their best student, after all. It could be nothing less. What incredible depth and complexity. If there were ever a golden ratio of flavors, it would be this dish. I would expect no less of the first seat. Mm. Mm. Huh? Wait a minute. Why am I getting annoyed? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kaiser Grand Hotel Platinum Members Banquet. Give me a sec. Tonight's guest celebrity chef hails from Japan's greatest culinary school, Las Vegas, Nevada, the United States. We have invited Eiichi Tsukasa, first seat at the Totsuki Institute. Wow, Tsukasa, now you're even getting invitations from foreign countries to cook at amazing places like this. Good for you. So they're all eating. He's looking around, looking around. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, that's probably Izami. Some gloves, man. And that evil, like, look at that evil aura coming from him. Yo, great job out there, Tsukasa. You did awesome. The sauce you picked for the main dish was especially amazing. That must have been a super duper challenge for you. Oh, thanks, Rendo. Goodness. Now that was one terrible banquet. It was so astoundingly bad, it was actually funny. Allow me to give you a hand. Excuse me, and who are you? Eiichi Tsukasa. I can say with absolute certainty that all the heart and passion you poured into your dish did not reach a single one of those ignorant, pretentious pigs seated out there. Huh? Ladies and gentlemen, Rendo Senpai is in top form. Watch as she masterfully handles each ingredient, weaving them together to build her dish. Rendo Senpai is making the appetizer, right? Is she going to break out some weird, rare ingredient again to make a powerful dish with massive impact? Huh? Wait a minute. That's to be continued. So I really enjoyed that chapter. If I had to like rank that chapter, it would be a solid 9. Like, and I say 9 because like I thought it was phenomenal. The only thing that could have made this chapter like go to a 10 is if I actually saw some like more like cooking. Like if I saw like something that's the concept was like preparing and everything like that. Now if I saw that, then it'd be a 10. Then it'd be like a phenomenal chapter because like the stuff that we got in terms of the past and everything like that, right? But like we don't see much. We just know that like they're working in sync. I don't see too many like ingredients and stuff like that. I don't really know what Tsukasa is making, right? Because like we don't have a core ingredient or anything like that. So this was a great chapter in terms of like really seeing how sort of Tsukasa went through Totsuki, moved up to sort of becoming the right, not seeing how he moved up necessarily, but seeing how he sort of like fared with like the duties that come with being the first seat. And I really like that like there's sort of a difference, right? Like he has 0 people skills. So that right, it doesn't just mean that like, oh, he dislikes people. It's like he has 0 like in like sort of like in a sort of emotional intelligence in terms of how to interact with people. So even if he wanted to ask for help in terms of certain things, he doesn't know how, right? Like he's like, oh no, that's like right. Like all these people had to like offer their help, right? As opposed to him being like, oh, I'm really struggling here, guys. Can like, would you mind like taking some of this stuff off my hands and everything? I really thought that was good. Like it was really consistent in that way. And I really appreciated the way they like that the sort of mangaka is kind of like developing that sort of relationship between Tsukasa and Izami. And it's interesting because it's like that's the sort of thing where like where you kind of have to find a middle ground in terms of like haute cuisine versus sort of like artisanal, like sort of like diner-esque or whatever you want to call it. the sort of like restaurant on the corner, whatever this was, like American Chinese food or whatever, you know what I mean, like stuff like that, right? And right, you have to find some sort of like middle ground where you can appreciate both. And I think that it's hard. Like some people like are in these sort of worlds where they're going to eat nothing but hot cuisine, but have no appreciation for what goes into the dish, how hard the chefs worked on it. And I think that's why, like, for me, like, one thing I really try to do is I try to watch as many like cooking shows and documentaries and food documentaries as possible. And I try to like, think about what's going on in the menu, what's going on in the dish that I'm ordering, how those things go together, and, like, especially with like baking and stuff like that. I think like it's really cool. It's really neat to think about that, because like certain things, like you're like, oh, these things definitely go together, right? It's like yes, chicken and waffles go together. But let's say you go to a restaurant and they have like a sweet potato waffle with like chives and buttermilk like fried chicken that's sort of made in the vein of like a Marcus Samuelson from like Red Rooster in like Harlem, New York City or something like that, where like there's so many spices going into that sort of dredge that it's really, really like, like that's sort of the thing, right? It's like, right. And you have to sort of like ask yourself, like, do I have to think like that 24/7 when I'm eating every single thing I'm eating? It's like, no, right? But I think at some level, I do understand like the sort of chef's dilemma where it's like, yes, chefs, in a lot of ways are cooking for their own sort of reasons, but at the same time, like you're cooking for people. You want people to enjoy the dishes that you're making. You don't want to just kind of put something on the table and it's like, oh, like, and think, oh, well, doesn't matter if you think it tastes good or not. Like that's weird. Like it's a weird thing. Like I think as a chef, you're always thinking about like, hey, are the people that are eating my food, do the people enjoy the food that I'm making and cooking? So I think like this was a great chapter for that. It really sort of added some depth to that conversation. Really, really interesting. Really, really interesting, right? Like it'd be like a 9, and I totally get an 8. I was thinking about giving it an 8, but I think the reason why I give it a 9 is because I love that ending. Like I really like the sort of way that they brought people together, and it's like it's like the way that it's placed. It like right, like the sort of mode of thought in terms of food and the appreciation of food. The way that they presented that right there, where Tsukasa just like, I put my heart and soul into every dish that I made there, and all these people were like, right? And I think what's also really great is that even though there were some people who clearly were like, yo, did the harmony of this dish, right? It's like sometimes it's just like nonsense. Sometimes it's like people will say certain things, like whenever people are like, oh, when you watch a cooking show and some like, some person's like, oh, the heat of this fried chicken really brings out the da-da-da-da. And I'm like, man, what are you talking about? Like the heat is just like, it's just spicy. It's spicy. And like, when you talk about heat, what do you actually mean? Do you mean like the heat accentuates these particular spices that you're putting in the sort of dredge mixture of in that sort of dredge flour mixture, like of the fried chicken that you're about to make? Like, what are you talking about? So sometimes you'll hear chefs, like it's almost like they're phoning it in. Like you'll hear like people on these shows, they're just phoning it in because like it's not necessarily that they might not know what they're talking about, but that they're not really invested, in like really thinking about the sort of palette and the profiles and everything like that of the dishes that they're tasting and really commenting on certain things. Some of them clearly are, but I think like a lot, like, so there are a lot of chefs that are also just like, they phone it in. They're like, oh, I'm making this money. I'm gonna get my check. I'm gonna be fine, whatever, and so it really makes you think. I mean, obviously, the sort of hot sort of cuisine ideology taken to sort of the extreme that Izami takes it to and Tsukasa takes it to in that sense, and what Central's trying to do is like ridiculous. And I'm not for that. I'm not for that. But you understand the motivations. I think that's really important because like you can't just kind of dismiss what they're talking about, right? You can't dismiss their feelings. You can't dismiss their love of cooking, their love of food. I think like, I mean, I like that's something like I can't be like, oh, Azami loves food too much. Like I don't think anybody loves food too much. I'm like, yo, if you love cooking, if you love food that much, I can't knock that. Right? It's like it's not about so right, and so you have to sort of take those steps. You have to be like, okay, like what am I saying like that I don't like about this? Right? It's not their desire to cook or their love of food or their desire to see like this haute cuisine and everything, you know, this like sort of upper echelon of like cooking. It's more like how they feel about the dissemination of that and who is allowed to eat that food. That to me is like, right? It's like if you have you see like not every 5-year-old is going to be adding nakiri, right? It's not, like of course that's not right. That's not the case, right? So it's like you know some 5-year-old might be like, oh, this was amazing. It tastes so good, right? Like, but it's not like you know every 5-year-old has to take a quiz on well what was every ingredient used in this dish and how did you feel about it? And like no, man, they're just trying to enjoy the food that they're eating. So it's like I really appreciated this chapter. That's why I thought like that's why I gave it a 9. But I totally understand that someone was like, hey, it was an 8, maybe it was a 7.5. Like I totally understand that. Like I get that. You know, I just felt like, and a lot of this is my enjoyment of the chapter. Did I think it was great? Did I think the construction of it was great? Do I think it did things that were really, really great for the story moving forward? And I think it did. And I think it allowed us to sort of see a bit of that fire that's in Tsukasa. I really love seeing that clenched fist. I was like, yo, like he's legitimately mad right now. And it's different. It's a different kind of anger that we've like seen. You know, I really appreciated that. And that was necessary. That was necessary sort of character like to insert that sort of character construction of Tsukasa and to write in that way. I really love that. And we get to learn a bit more about Azami and how he's thinking about these things and where that comes from and why he feels like the world ruined Joichiro, right? Because in some ways Azami might believe that Joichiro was just like, yo, like I'm doing all this stuff and all these people don't care. And like we don't know that Joichiro thought that way, right? He might have just been exhausted. And he was just like, I just want to like make food for people. Like I don't want to worry about like whether people love me. Like, you know, I think there's just something different there. And there's a disconnect. So it's really, really interesting. I really, really love this chapter. I thought it was great. For me, I give it a 9. I give it a solid 9, right? It's like, it's no more, no less. Like it's just a solid 9. If there was more cooking in this chapter, I would give it like I'd probably give it, it would be perfect for me. I would love it, love it, love it, love it. But I really like this chapter. I thought it was good. So basically that is my live reaction / review of Shokugeki no Soma, chapter 254. Shouts out to Midmat44 for coming through. Shouts out to Dragonite for coming through to this to the live chat. Again, like this is a great manga. I really, really enjoy Shokugeki no Soma. I think some people like, you know, there was a point where I was pretty critical about it. I was just like, I don't know what's going on here. Like something is right. But it doesn't mean that like I think as a whole Shokugeki no Soma is like trash and nobody should read this manga or anything like that. I thought it was just like, I think like it's a phenomenal manga. In terms of cooking manga, it's probably one of the best. I think the only manga / anime that is on the same level is like Yakitate Japan, which is fantastic. If you haven't read or watched Yakitate Japan, check that out. It's such a funny, great, heartwarming food manga about bread. It's so good. It's so good. And really, really funny. And sometimes like the anime just like cracks you up. It's so funny. It makes you laugh like almost every episode. Really, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. All right. So thank you for the great review, Nod, Ben Matt. I love doing it. I mean, like it's a great manga. And I thought the chapter was great. It did a lot of good stuff in terms of character development, pushing some things, making us really better understand as readers why Tsukasa is sort of supporting Azami and a bit more about why Azami is doing the things that he's doing. So I thought it was great. All right, I'm the Black Manga Critic. Thank you for coming through. Again, if you're watching this video, I'm not worried about if you like or subscribe. I don't really worry so much about that because some people just don't want to like subscribe to things, and that's fine. I don't mind that. If you want to comment, please comment. I love comments. I love reading the comments. I love seeing how people think about the chapters and what they thought about it, and the different things that they noticed and everything like that that may differ from mine, that might be similar to my observations and stuff. So please do comment. Please do comment. All right. I'm always reading comments. Again, I'm going to be much better about responding to them. Okay. I am the Black Manga Critic. Thank you for coming through, everybody. Thank you for watching this video. If you're watching it right now, whether it's live stream or not. All right. I'm the Black Manga Critic, and I'm out.